Okay. I think this is all set. It's like I need to put new batteries in this remote. It's like not quite as bad as the Buried in Time remote, but it's, you know, worse than this remote when the last pair of batteries was put in. Or you know what? Maybe it's not. This is just a replacement remote for the specific TV that I got on eBay after I accidentally threw the original in the trash. Okay, let's see if I know how to do this. We are not doing the, what do you call it? Meteor Police version. This is just going to be the Michael second. There's just so much to it. We're going to lead with Michael, though. This is the Second Quest run attempt. No one has ever completed the Second Quest without resetting. So this is going to be my attempt at that. Basically, foundationally, what the Second Quest is that the talk show ending is super broken. Like, way more than I would have thought. When I first started experimenting with all this crazy ending glitches and stuff, I thought talk show was pretty static because there's really no floor to walk on as far as like actual boxes of in-game objects or whatever. But there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. You can't pick up any of the items. But if Dave gets captured at the exact moment that the scene starts, damn it. Like if Dave gets captured, they were just regaining control during the cutscene so that I can walk to the other side of the room. Just saves a little bit of time. This isn't really a speed run as such of, you know, aiming for a really good time. But it's going to use a lot of speedrun techniques because that's just, you know, some good gameplay. And then, also, you know, since this has never been actually done before, I kind of want to see about, you know, the pace that it might set. I think it's probably going to come out to be about a half hour. Oh shit, I was supposed to go this way. So yeah, I mean, for every time I do something like that, it doesn't matter though. It's about being able to do it at all. Because, like, the problem like that wasn't a true tentacle Weird Ed skip, so I still need to cross back down the stairs if I wanna be able to access the top floor later without giving the package. And in general, you wanna avoid Weird Ed getting the package unless you're doing some like really strange like ham steak % style who knows what. I don't even know. But I am going to turn the light on unnecessarily, just because I think it's nice for a change, and this is a nice looking screen, even though it's kind of a shitty looking room. It'd be weird if there was a keypad peripheral for the NES, designed specifically for Maniac Mansion. You know, there was a, I saw today there's that, I guess it's a new re-release of Tomba for modern platforms. Originally on, what do you call it? PlayStation. How could I forget what PlayStation's called? Did I already do all these numbers? Oh, right, right. So I like just probably lost like a minute on just fumbling with that. But, you know, you can't take it for granted that you'll get the combination right the first time. But yeah, you want to use the new kid menu walking past NPCs, but you want to do it sparingly because you don't want to delay the doorbell coming up too much. But you want to lead with Michael and then just new kid back to Wendy so that there's more the movement through the house is more efficient if you just lead with one character. And then, like a lot of things in the game, you can transfer abilities with the new kid menu. And in this case, you can also just, you know, regain controller in the cutscene, walk away. But we're going to do another example of that. Just real quick, I'll show you. I'll read manuscript. This is great stuff. You can just regain control and switch characters. But, you know, yeah. Miss it on any percent. This is a run killer right here. But this is not any percent. This is experiments. So that's good, but I also want to get Dave. Again, I'm probably gaining like a minute getting this wrong a bunch. Maybe less. But yeah, transfer to Dave. Feels so much stronger. You're going to want to do this with character 2 in 80%. But yeah, that just saves a trip outside for the one character. So we're not going to need to use that for Wendy though, because unfortunately, to get the Sandy Second Quest ending, you need to like sacrifice Wendy during the main game. But you also don't want to get the yellow key during the main game. It's really tricky. As we get closer to the Second Quest specific tricks, right now it's just doing like general talk show stuff with just a little bit of care taken to do something slightly different. But what you... I wonder if I can beep that part out. Nah, that's cool. But like the... What is it? Oh yeah, so when you get towards the end, there's a lot of like really hard tricks that are like run killers if you get them wrong. And or like not necessarily run killers, but like but they'll just like make it maybe it's just like a regular talk show ending. I hate this part. Okay, cool. Sometimes I forget to get the cassette tape and it's like a debacle. Definitely one such debacle. This isn't like that bad of a pace, I feel like, considering how many mistakes I've made. Warning, the screeching is so bad in this part. And if you like turn it off too soon by mistake, cutscenes trigger, like, yeah, whatever. Get to start all over again with the sound, not with the game. Yeah, so the package is going to be delivered like really soon, so we don't even have the glass jar and the microwave and all yet. So that's we're a little bit behind for like perfect talk show pace, but that's not just because of mistakes. I think it's just a little bit more. I'm trying to cram into this. If you really wanted to be efficient, you could even do like Weird Ed's room and the card key and stuff. waiting for Weird Ed. If I walk off screen when he shows up, then he won't get the package or do anything really. Just go back up to his room. So we got Michael out here. Forgot the glass jar. That's cool. So yeah, for some of these parts where it's just like so similar to normal stuff, there's just not a whole lot, you know, to really commentate about that. The cooling rods, that's just for fun because I like the cooling rods. I think it's funny what it says. Just taking that out of the way. Here, when you get here towards the end of the game, you want to close the gate before you open it, or else you'll get trapped. I don't know if that's a glitch or like just to make it difficult on purpose, like a bug, or just to make it difficult on purpose, because I think you have to use glitches to even like have it be accessible at that point. I'm not sure. But yeah, I just closed that. So here in this version, yeah, you want to get the pool water instead of the tap water because the pool water is toxic, and it's like the most efficient way to sacrifice characters so that you can get glitch endings that require certain characters to not survive the main game. It's so cool. But you know what? It is pretty crazy storytelling in the in-game universe. Like all the backstabbing that goes on in Maniac Mansion. Like, what the hell? It is pretty absurd. Like, it is absurd, I think. Like, even if it's like cartoon violence, I feel like just the themes of it, even though there's so much comedy, like, I don't know. I think this should have at least been rated T if they were doing those retroactive ratings, like in the, you know, eShop and all that stuff. I don't know. I think it's pretty ridiculous to think that this is like, I don't know. I mean, I played this one. I was just thinking about like, if they had to like evaluate it as a new game, I feel like they would probably bump it up a little bit, but also allow like everything that got cut for the NES version. You want to use envelope with stamps instead of get package, open package, use stamps on envelope, because it's just a lot less menuing and it's a lot more possible to do that if you like, if you're trying to outrun the cutscene of Weird Ed answering the doorbell, it's a lot better to like do that than to wait around, like for like talk show speedruns or something. So now that the envelope is in the mailbox, this is really a waiting game. So, you know, probably like 4 minutes behind a real talk show ending or a regular talk show ending. But this is the part of the game where there's a lot of flexibility, and even though I made a lot of mistakes, I did a lot of things pretty efficiently, so there's not that much I really have left that I need to do before the contract comes back. So this is all just to kind of make it a little bit faster when the contract does finally get there. But I'm going to want to give the old rusty key to Dave at this point, because what's going to happen is, leading with Michael, who will get the contract and take that into the dungeon in the lab. And then to regain control of the new kid menu at that point in the game. Oh crap, I should have switched to Dave. Yeah, so here, you just gotta wait. The power hasn't even gone out yet. But the envelope hasn't even been sent out of the mailbox yet. So there, the power just went out. So this will be like this for like a few minutes. You can try to turn the circuit breakers on and off, but they will not really take any effect if it's just, oh, this is that required 5 minutes or whatever time it is. I think he says in the cutscene, I just always skip the cutscene. But after you clear certain points in the game, it'll like reset to just being able to turn the power on. Like I think if you like give the contract a purple tentacle or other passages, I don't know. Basically that. But this is like the most boring part of the game, so I'll kind of try to just keep it talking about what's going to happen when it's like pretty intensive. So what happens is when you get the contract, you go into the lab, give it to the purple tentacle, and open the door, but don't go through it, and then retreat back into the dungeon, and then switch to Dave and who rings the doorbell and goes inside. So then after that, you like switch back to Michael and just make a bolt for the radiation suit, because you want to get the radiation suit before the cutscene Dave getting captured triggers, because then you'll be able to use the new kid menu after that. You need the radiation suit, and you need to get that before this glitch happens, or you would need to send like another character in. You only have 2 now. So, and in any case, that would be like a dead end at that point. But anyways, so then you basically go about getting the talk show ending. But, oh yeah, here we go. Marketeer. You can actually make his window break if you put on the screeching noise and, like, do it in perfect timing with this cutscene starting. Oh, wait a second. No, I'm thinking of the TV. No, that's a lot easier to do. No, it's the, no, it's just if you send him the screeching noise tape, his window will break. Likewise, if you play the screeching noise tape, or no, if you play the screeching noise record, and then you, do this, like, regain control trick real fast, and, like, watch the commercial and regain control during that, then, like, the window will break, and the animation, of him turning around and being like, oh great, happens. And I wonder if that's like it's scripted, like if that music plays and he is on screen, then this happens. That must be what it is. I have to look at that. Whatever that Scum NES app or something, I guess. Is it called like an acid exploder? Breaks down the script. Helps you identify things, like how even though we're going to try to win twice, we're not going to be able to stack the talk show ending with the porch ending that you would normally get in like a mansion-based ending. Because there's like a script in the game that, like, when you like go to the winning, you know, end sequence, it's like, if this, then go to the talk show at the beginning, and if not, then do normal, or the porch version. And it's like, if the meteor, when you give the contract to Meteor, like this one variable changes. That the only other times in the game that variable changes is whatever the results of, well, there's like the default variables, and then there's whatever the results of the marketeer scene are. Is it contract for one person, contract for another, etc., etc. So the only way to stack the torch and the talk show would be to figure out a way to reset or change that variable that sets when the contract is accepted. That's not so. Yeah. So what's going to happen is when you give the contract to Meteor, they're going to try to regain control and then switch, and we're going to try to cycle new kid between all three characters like a bunch of times to just break up the progression, just kind of like confuse the game and just stopping what it was doing. Suspended win. Oh, nice. Power's back on. This is, I think, a pretty well-timed power outage compared to a lot of playthroughs. So what we're going to do is give the contract to the tentacle. Now that the contract's here, the action's going to start again, and I can kind of narrate more in real time instead of the preamble. So we're at 20 minutes now. So yeah, so we want to open this door, but retreat to the dungeon, and then switch to Dave, who has the old rusty key at this point. We're going to go out. And then we are going to use doorbell. Go inside real fast. Switch to Michael before the scene starts. Hit new kid. Switch to Michael. Go in. So you don't have to do the Weird Ed scene regain control like I did just there, but it just buys you a little bit of time, because there is a bit of fumbling you could do and miss the radiation suit here. But now if you get the radiation suit timing down, you can even get the Pepsi before the cutscene. That's like one of the only times I've ever gotten the Pepsi before this cutscene starts. So now Dave's getting captured, and a weird glitch of this game is that whenever a player gets captured, that unlocks the new kid menu, like when they go to the dungeon. So now we're able to use that, which is not the way it's, so that is the foundation of all this broken crap that's been discovered. So then do that. Got the radiation suit on, so we're good. I want to open that door and go out this way. Now we got Dave. He's got the old rusty key. And we'll go out here, and we want to go out to the pool to meet up with Michael, so that Michael can pass off the cold can of Pepsi. One of the most insane things to me about this game, this specific category or ending, double ending, is that it almost requires the cold can of Pepsi. Like, you can do it without the cold can of Pepsi, but it's like a lot more prone to failure without the cold can of Pepsi. Alright, so now I want to give the contract, but new kid exactly then. I'm not going to touch this. So you want to just new kid the hell out of this as much as you can. That should do it. So then, from there, this is where it gets into real far into left field, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to Weird Ed's room. And before we go inside, we're going to drink the cold can of Pepsi. And then go inside and get captured and mash New Kid a very specific way so that before the screen wipes to the talk show, Weird Ed will say, so you need to wait till Weird Ed saying, "What are you doing in my house?" appears on screen for any amount of time, you know, before the screen wipes. Then, as long as you're hitting New Kid right, you'll at least know that the order is correct. Oh crap, I forgot about this part. So here you want to be careful, because if you, with this like suspended talk show victory, a lot of things can cause you to win the game, like just spontaneously win the game. Like, so we're gonna give the regular can of Pepsi. I guess if it's not a cold can of Pepsi, I guess that connotes that the fridge does not work, which would explain everything being gross, I guess. I just think it's gross. But yeah, we have to pause out, not just to like save time and actually have the Pepsi be sufficient for the tentacle to move out of the way, but if it says "thanks a lot, kid," you win the game, and that totally prevents the second quest. We need to use the cold can of Pepsi. I never would have thought the cold can of Pepsi was anything more than kind of a easily forgettable item. Here we go. Alright, let's see this work. I have to wait a little bit, but not too long. Okay, I think it's gonna work. You don't want to wait too long to regain control, or the screen will scroll wrong. Yeah, there we go. That's how to do it correctly. Alright, so then yeah, the screen moves in the talk show ending and it kind of forces scrolling there. But if you're like getting the timing right, this will happen as soon as you get back out into the main foyer of the mansion. So that's ending number 1, 27 something. That's not great. So what we're going to do is keep going. So back to the mansion. That's just how to clear those graphics from the screen so you can keep going. So now we are back at the mansion with Sandy, which is actually mechanically Dave, but Sandy sprite swap for the purposes of the talk show scene, which is, you know, not expected to be interactive, I guess, by the developers, so they never expect anyone, I guess, to notice that that's what's going on. But this is not like the Game Genie version. In the Game Genie version, it just swaps all the sprites, but this is, if you go back in the dungeon, what am I doing up here again? Oh yes, Second Quest, getting the yellow key. So yeah, the important thing is to leave anything that you think you're going to want to use, either like the yellow key or just anything else you think would be fun to use in the post game. Just want to make sure you leave that in place during the main game. No items transfer over. Like, if I want to turn this music off, too late, it's not Sandy's CD player. That's not the reason why. It's just that any sort of post-game, like, glitch bonus gameplay, like this, or, like, if the character's wiped out, all the items disappear. So, now you know if you didn't know. But what we're going to do is, of course, go out to the garage. Yeah, because unlike the other endings, Meteor doesn't despawn from the mansion in the talk shop. So, we want to close this gate and open it, even though I don't think it's of consequence by this point. And then we want to go to the cement slab and get the Meteor. Since we gave it the contract, we don't need to use the switch because it will, what do you call it? Whatever it's called. It's just it already knows to... I realized in the moment that I was going to be really pissed off if it crashed. Oh yeah, so there you have it, the very first complete Sandy's Second Quest run without resetting or save load from the cartridge, right? I stopped the timer when the Weird Edsel launch was started, but eh. That's what I would have. That's where the timer would have stopped on like a speed run or like any other category. So. But here we go. We have 1 second time, full graphics. Now, let's see how much different it might get now. I guess that's about it. I thought that the what do you call it? The Dr. Fred cutscene was going to be stacked onto play as soon as I regained control. But yeah, let's see if nope. So yeah, the game's crashed. So but exactly what we wanted. So catch you later.